You're watching the History Fella channel. In this video we're looking at the Battle of Fredricksburg. By early November 1862, an impatient President Lincoln had installed Major General Ambrose Burnside as the new commander of the Army of the Potomac. Burnside's ambitious plan to defeat Lee began with a rapid advance to Fredericksburg, situated on the Rappahannock River, where they would seize the town, then march on to the Confederate capital at Richmond in order to overwhelm the city, thus taking the strategic advantage, and forcing the Army of the Northern Virginia to fight on the ground of the Union's choosing. Lincoln readily endorsed the plan, unaware of the unhealthy state of the Army of the Potomac, which was now nearly over 140,000 strong, and reorganized into 3 grand divisions, each comprising of 2 corps, whose commanders loathed, or at best resented, their new leader. Equally difficult for Burnside was the poor state of the communications and supply chains between him and the War Department back in Washington, which would prove both calamitous for his plans and deadly for his troops. Burnside's strategy began to unravel almost as soon as the Army of the Potomac moved to the crossing points from their base at Falmouth on November the 17th, where the Right Grand Division, commanded by Major General Edwin V. Sumner, found themselves with no pontoons to ford the fast-flowing river. Union engineers had reported that they had not the horse trains to transport the pontoon bridges over land. Sumner was anxious to get across to the town and take the heights beyond, which were lightly defended. However, fearful that they might be stranded across the flooded barrier, Burnside ordered a halt and demanded his boats and pontoons be made ready as soon as possible. A few days dragged into weeks, and by the end of the month the element of surprise had evaporated, and Lee had moved his 2 corps of 79,000 men to defensive works in the hills behind Fredericksburg, ready and well positioned to await an expected Union assault. The Confederates established formidable lines of defense, stretching for many miles north and south of Fredericksburg, including the key position of Mary's Heights, situated 600 yards to the west of the town and commanded by Major General Longstreet's corps. Robert E. Lee's troops and artillery had an excellent field of fire should the enemy get across the canal and into the main field to then attack that position. His commanders had excellent internal lines of supply and communication, making it possible for any breaks in their defences to be reinforced. Even if the Federals did intend carrying the ridge, they would first need to take positions protected by a 4-foot-high stone wall a few hundred yards in front, where 4 lines of infantry of Brigadier General Thomas R. Cobb's Georgian Division would pour down fire upon them. On December the 12th, after a heavy artillery bombardment that wrecked the town, crossing pontoon bridges erected under intense fire, Union troops established a bridgehead and slowly pushed back the Confederates through its streets, until by 4:30 all had been cleared for the massed columns to start crossing for the main attack the next day. The Army of the Potomac attacked on the morning of December the 13th, as the freezing fog was lifting off the Rappahannock. On the south flank of Fredericksburg, stretching out several hundred yards, some progress was made by Federal advances of Major General William B. Franklin's Left Grand Division, only to be thwarted by strong rebel counterattacks and poor coordination of Union reinforcements, which led to heavy casualties. The main thrust now came at Mary's Heights, where Sumner was ordered to send a division or more to seize the high ground and thus to allow him to roll up Lee's right flank. At noon, the first of several divisions, a brigade at a time, went in, each to face intense artillery fire as they double-timed to rank up to the Confederate positions, and each division melted before the firestorm meted out by Lieutenant General Longstreet's corps behind the stone wall. The most gallant charge of the day was made by the Irish Brigade, led by General Thomas Meagher. Green sprigs of boxwood in their keepees, they got to within 25 paces of the stone wall before they were driven back by a tempest of rebel fire from the 24th Georgia, also an Irish formation, who cheered their countrymen's heroism as they fell back. By the evening, as the lights started to fade and 14 attacks had been repulsed, the route up to Mary's Heights was littered with dead and dying, almost 9,000 men. A distraught Burnside resolved to lead the next day's attacks personally in atonement for the disaster, but was talked down by his subordinates. Instead, he ordered the withdrawal back across the Rappahannock. Lee's casualties of 5,377 were light compared with the Union figure of 12,653, over which the Southern press crowed as their northern cousins fumed. Burnside was relieved of command as Lincoln continued to look for a Union general who could deliver him a victory. If you found the information in this video informative or helpful, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. Other than that, please consider subscribing to the channel. You'll be more than welcome. Thank you very much for watching.